Hello, today I'm going to design and create a temporary crown with the Shining Aoralscan 3 and the Shining L4D 3D printer. We're now scanning our bite. As soon as the two jaws come together, the bite scan is done. All right, we complete it, and then our digital impression is done. So if we were sending this off to the lab, we would just click send at the end of this and send it off to the lab. But what we're going to do is design our own temporary crown. I'm going to click on more applications here, choose the Cree temp. Sorry. You can see it's already going to build the margin line, and you can adjust it very easily. Please ignore the ugliness of the prep on the model. Just click Next. Now what this is doing is saying what's the angle of insertion of the tooth. And what you do is you set your view so that you are looking straight onto it in the angle you want it inserted. It'll, by default, give you a best guide based on the angles of your prep. Okay, and it'll automatically place a tooth that is a rough concept of the tooth you chose in your restoration. And what you're seeing there is what's highlighted in yellow is contact points to the lower mandible. And now we can work on crown design. What we're doing here is you would move this around, or you can even work on adjustments here, but when we get to crown design, we'll have more options on how to adjust. This is more just making the crown fit your margin lines and avoiding contact with the adjacent teeth. Give some space there. I'm right-clicking to move the model around and left-clicking to make my adjustments. Don't worry too much about the view of the anatomy at this point, because we can smooth that out. Here we have a smooth tool, an intrusion tool, which means when you click on it, it's going to press in on the object, or extrusion is going to pull out. This is the size of... Hi. All right, so now in this view, you can leave both models in place to view it. You can also turn off a model so you can see it better, because you may want to smooth, like if you don't want this much anatomy. What I'm first going to do is I'm going to increase my brush size because I want to make the whole top of the crown a little taller. So I'm going to bring it towards me. And you can see I'm also smoothing it out as I do that. If I adjust my strength, that's just going to change how much it increases as I do this. And you see I'm removing a lot of anatomy there. I want to decrease my brush size. I don't want this to be ugly. I just tap. And then I'm going to make my brush size big again, and I'm going to smooth. I don't like this dimple I made, so I'm going to bring this up. All right, I'll turn back on the other model, and I can see I've got some pretty big contact points there. And we're going to bump that down. You can turn on texture if color helps you with any of this. Turn on margin line if that helps. And then I'm going to hit check mark to confirm that. And then I'm going to look at the parameter adjustment. If you highlight things, you can see this sets the minimum edge width of 0.1 millimeter. This is how much gap is between your prep and the inner side of the crown you're making. So 0.1 millimeters currently. Since it's a temporary, I'm going to move that up to 0.2. Okay. And now I'm going to go to print. Now you can see if you have the Shine software installed on your computer, it's automatically going to send this off to the print software. I'm going to select my resin here, I'm using shade B1. Let me hit save. It's going to open up my printer software. It's going to automatically position the crown and build its base and attachment arms. It's going to automatically slice it, and it's going to leave it up to me just to hit the print button, which is good because I need to go mix my resin before I begin my print job. Now you can take a look at this and you can decide if I can exit out of this and I can look at this last step. So this is how it's decided to build my crown. Now me personally, because it's a crown, and if I need to break any supports free or clear them, the last place I want them is inside here. So what I'm going to do is select this, clear support, and this is just a preference of how much work you want to do after the fact. I'm going to build it face down, so all my supports attached to the face. Now where it's actually going over the prep, there'll be no supports built in, so I don't have to worry about cleaning any of this out. And I'll show you when I break off these attachment arms, the supports, they break off very cleanly. If I had to smooth them down at all, because for a temporary, I might hit it really quick with a stone. But you'll see that it's going to leave almost nothing attached to it. All right. So then I hit next. It's going to slice. And now I'm going to go mix my resin because it's been sitting in my tray for a long time. And then I'm going to print.